Hey, good morning. Welcome to CGS Biblecast. So glad that you joined me here this morning. We're going to be lamenting some more in Lamentations. And so let's get right to it over there. This is chapter 5, verse 19 through 21. It says, "But Lord, you remain the same forever. Your throne continues from generation to generation. Why do you continue to forget us? Why have you abandoned us for so long? Restore us, O Lord, and bring us back to you again. Give us back the joys we once had." So you can see the pain here. Now, with that in mind, have you ever watched somebody suffer? It's very unsettling, whether it's from a medical condition or loss of a loved one. That's terrible to watch because you don't know what to say. It's like, I don't know what to say. And the worst thing to do is just tell them all how you feel about when you lost someone. They don't need to hear that. So I don't know, whatever they go through, we want to help in their pain, but we're helpless. Jeremiah was a godly man, and he was in a very ungodly situation. He was distressed from watching his people grieve, and they're in pain. He doesn't know what to say. He doesn't know how to help them. He feels really miserable. In today's passage, he lifts his weary thoughts up to God in prayer. First, he notes that God is and always will be the same forever. He doesn't change. And we know that. It's easy for us to say that we believe that, but when we're going through tough times, we think, well, how did you do this to us? But he doesn't change. He didn't do anything to us. He's still there. He's still the same. So then this leads us to ask a very human question. If you're always in control, then why won't you just end the suffering? And as in their case, he thinks, well, why don't you just restore Israel? We're out here wandering around and we're hopeless and lost. Why don't you just make it better? So it's an honest question, and we honestly think the same thing. I've had conversations with people recently. It's like, I am a good person and I'm doing good things. Then why are all these bad things happening to me and the people I love? So it's an honest question. But God knew that his people wouldn't just stop sinning one day and turn back to him. Therefore, Jeremiah wisely asked God to turn them back to himself. There's a switch here in the scripture. And we also need his help. Before we get to that, let's look at this turn here. It's why he's lamenting. Why do you continue to forget us? Why have you abandoned us for so long? And then he says this, "Restore us, O God, and bring us back to you again." He recognizes that we have to turn back, and we got to do the same thing. We can't save ourselves. We're not able to do that. Jesus is the one that does that, and he does that for us. So as we are looking at suffering and the pain that it's causing in this world, we can't afford to be indifferent towards havoc that is definitely there in so many lives. We have to recognize that. But we should respond to sin and suffering as Jeremiah did, asking God to turn us and others back to himself and to restore us and direct us back along the right path. Jeremiah took a moment to say, we need you, Lord, to restore us. And when our life is falling apart and it just seems like it's getting very difficult to find anything that makes sense, we have to pause in the same way and say, Lord, would you direct me back on the right paths? I believe I'm doing right, but if I'm not, would you direct me back? And not necessarily just as far as a sin standpoint, but Lord, would you restore my household? Would you restore Israel? Would you restore whatever is crazy in my life? Would you restore it, Lord, and bring it back on the right path? Maybe Satan, maybe the enemy, the devil, whatever you want to say, has gotten things messy and messed up, and it's not even your fault. You can still redirect your life through God, through Christ, and have him put you back on the right path. Something to think about today, and I hope this has encouraged you. Check it out, Lamentations. It's sad, but there's some wisdom in there, and I'm hoping that you're finding it. Have a good day.